Think positive.
Welcome back to the Gould Ambrose podcast, GA for short. I'm your host, Prince. This is a space for inner work, self-improvement, self-discovery, mindset, accountability, integrity, reflection, and personal development. This podcast is built for growth, for honesty, and for becoming a better version of yourself one day at a time. New episodes drop every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Today's episode is called Conversation with Self. Talking to self is normal. It's okay to talk to yourself. Not out loud, though you can. Sometimes you just need to hear yourself, because everyone is not always going to be around. Your own presence, is that enough? Really? Will it ever be enough? We're so used to leaning on others to define the edges of who we are, to fill spaces we think are empty. But when they're gone, then what? I guess you'll fall apart. And maybe that's okay. Maybe falling apart is how you learn what holds you together. Because you can't constantly be looking outside yourself to figure out how to be you. That's not living. That's borrowing, and always borrowing pieces of someone else's light. So, what do you do when you're alone? When no one's watching? When silence is louder than any conversation? Do you hide? Do you run? Or do you finally listen? Listen to your own voice, even if it trembles. Even if it's messy, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. Because that voice, that's the one that stays long after everyone else has left. And maybe that's when you realize you've been present all along, just not fully. Sometimes presence isn't loud. It's quiet. It's small. It's noticing your own breath, the way your hands feel, the way the world pauses around you when you pause. It's in those tiny moments, those fleeting seconds, that you start to know yourself, really know yourself. Your own presence. Is it enough? Maybe not yet. Maybe it never will be. But here's the thing. You don't need anyone else's approval to claim it. Your presence, your attention to yourself, your awareness is enough to start. There's comfort in talking to yourself, in arguing with yourself, in laughing, crying, questioning. Because the more you sit there alone, the more you learn to hold yourself, to carry the weight of you without breaking. And sometimes you realize the person you've been searching for was here all along. Not outside, not in someone else, just here, breathing, falling, rising again. It's messy. It's quiet. It's real. And in that quiet, you start to understand being with yourself is enough. Sometimes I ask myself questions I already know the answer to. And sometimes I don't. I might say whatever had been on my mind, and the answer comes back slowly, sometimes softly, sometimes not at all. And that's fine, because it's not about the answer. It's about the conversation, the talk you create and have between yourself, the way you witness your own life without interruption. No one is going to be around forever, and that's okay. That's not a threat. It's life. It's reality. The only constant, the only thing you can always count on is you, yourself. So, talk to yourself. Sit with yourself. Fall apart if you need to. And then, piece yourself back together. Because at the end of the day, your own presence is enough. When all else fails, you know who to talk to. When no one understands you, when explaining feels pointless, when the words don't land the way you meant them to, you turn inward. Not because you're alone, but because you trust yourself to hold what you're feeling. And at the end of the day, that conversation is another way to release. No filters, no judgment, no performance, just honesty. And maybe that's why talking to yourself isn't weakness. It's survival. Your thoughts never sit still. They argue. They clash. They shout. Sometimes they make sense. Sometimes they don't. You catch yourself mid-thought, wondering who's really talking. And then you remember, it's all you. All the voices, all the contradictions. And somehow, in all that chaos, you still find clarity. You remember this. You always have yourself. No matter what's out there, no matter what fights you face, you're with you. And that is enough to stand on, enough to breathe, enough to keep moving. Knowing you can hold yourself, even when the world can't, brings its own peace. It's worth it. Just to know. Just to try. Just to be. And there's strength in that. Real strength. Because when you can do it by yourself, there's no rug to be pulled from beneath you. You're good with you. Okay in your own company. Steady in your own presence. Nothing can shake that. Nothing can take it away. Because you're the only one who gets to make that decision. The decision to stand with yourself. To choose yourself. To be enough for yourself. Just you. And that is solid ground. Rip everything else away. No opinions. No excuses. No noise. No audience. Nothing standing between you and yourself. Nothing to hide behind. Just this. Raw. Real. Present. Just one-on-one. You and yourself. A conversation to be had. I hope you found something worth taking with you today. Maybe a new perspective. Maybe a moment to pause and reflect. Thank you for being here and sharing this space with me. Your presence matters. If this resonated with you, Share it with someone you care about because growth spreads through connection. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. Stay grounded. And as always, be safe.